chapter, we're going to write a Python implementation of the word count program that runs on the Unix command line. So if you're not familiar with it, let's just see what WC does. Here I am in the program directory, and I'll say WC, and I'll just say star. So star is going to be a wildcard, which means anything here, and it unfortunately includes the inputs directory. So if I don't want it to try to count a directory, I should be a little more specific about what I want it to count. For instance, if I were to say star dot star, it would be anything followed by a dot followed by anything. So this includes the README file, the solutions, and the solutions. And so what we see here is, let me clear my screen and then run that again, is that it prints 3 columns. We have no idea what they are because they're not labeled. And then the columns are lined up, they're right aligned, which looks nice. And then there's a space, and then there's the name of the file that it counted. And then there's additionally a total line when I have it count multiple files. If I were to, for instance, just have it count the README file, it would not show me that total. To know what those 3 columns are, unfortunately, we pretty much have to read the man page for WC, and we learned that it's for the word, line, and character or byte count here. We're not going to completely implement a version that works exactly like WC. For instance, I usually use just the line count, so I'll say WC-L. So if I want to know how many lines are in, for instance, the solution, I can see it's 52, which, as we can see, is the first column, 52. And so when I run it with -L, it only prints the line column. If I were to ask it to print both the line and the word count, then it would print those 2 columns. We're not going to make our program do that. Our program is always going to print all 3 columns, which is fine. But our program is going to handle showing the output for one single file or multiple files and then having a total. There's something else that word count will do. If I just type WC and then hit enter, it looks like it's just hanging out and waiting for me here. It's actually reading from standard in right now. So I can say foo, bar, baz. And then if I hit enter and then Control D for David, then it shows me that it has counted 3 lines, 3 words, and 12 characters or bytes of input. I can also, there's a file here in this inputs directory called foo, and if we look at that, that's what it looks like. I can actually pipe that file. So first off, if I say WC on that input, this is what it will show me. But I can also cat that file, and I can pipe it into the program called WC. So this means that WC is now reading from standard in the output from the cat file. So it's exactly, from the cat command. So cat puts out, it prints its output on standard out, which we can then use the pipe to have WC read from standard in. So this way we can chain programs together on the command line. And you see that the output is exactly the same. It's just that in the case of reading from standard in, WC doesn't print the name of the file. So another way that we could do this is with the redirect which looks like a less than sign. So if we say redirect from inputs foo.txt, it also gives us the same kind of input. Same kind of output. So what we're going to be working on in this program is writing that. We're going to write we're going to write our own implementation of the Unix program WC. It's going to be able to read 1 or more files, or it's going to be able to read standard in, and then it's going to print out the summaries for the lines, words, and character for each file, and then it's also going to optionally print a summary, a total line, when there's more than one file. And in this, we're going to learn how to process 0 or more positional arguments. So up to this point, we've had like 1 or more. We're going to understand how to validate input files. We've done just a little bit of that already. We're going to learn how to read both from files and from standard in. We're going to have to use a couple of different levels of for loops because we're going to need to loop over each file and then each line in each file. We're going to have to learn how to break each line, a file into lines, words, and then bytes. We're going to be using counter variables, and then we're going to learn how to format the string output. So pretty cool exercise. Stick with me and let's learn how to program this.